Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that we received. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. And the message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Please post my story as anonymous. I was used by some Nigerians and they were using me to smuggle drugs into the mortuary where I was working, and I was making a little bit of money. I can say that by the end of the month, with the salary that I was earning, I was able to go home with about 15k that I'll be having on a monthly basis. This is how I ended up working in a mortuary and things got messed up. I'm not an educated man. I am someone that went to university. And when I started dealing with these Nigerians, it's not because I was lazy, and it's because I had studied, I had graduated. I did everything South Africa told me to do and still ended up being unemployed. In 2012, I was 32 years old. I had a degree in logistics and public administration. I had student debt, and I had a son with a woman that was always on my case. I had a CV that went nowhere. For 2 years, I had applied for jobs in Gauteng, in the government, private sector. You don't even talk about it. The white people, they will tell you that they want experience. Where are you going to go and get the experience, yet you are fresh from university? I tried the government. Still, you had to know someone that was already working in this inside, so it was the same. I put my hope in the NGOs. I even tried call centers, but when bad luck is on your side, no matter how hard you will try to hustle for a job, you will never be able to get one. Eventually, I saw that I was not going anywhere. That was when I got a job. I was working at the mortuary, but already, to tell you the truth, I was working around Nigerians. These Nigerians that I was working around, like, I knew what they were doing. They were selling drugs. So these were local guys that I had known almost all of my life. I will say that they stayed in Soweto, these guys, just to change to the location where I do come from. So I knew them very well, and they knew that I was a good driver. If they wanted me to go and fetch something in Mpumalanga, I'll go there, and they were buying some used vehicles and they would sell them on Facebook Marketplace. That was what they used to do. So they wanted me to move things, transport, storage, hiding, some things even in my room. That is how I was able to make a little bit of money. They liked me. You know why? I was clean, never had a criminal record to this very day. I was an educated man, a South African, and with no criminal record. So this was just something to get some money and to at least give my baby mama something so that she can survive with our child. And the mortuary job came around that same time through a cousin who worked as a general assistant for a government mortuary in Johannesburg. And when he told me that there was this other man who had a private mortuary and he was going to be paying me 9,600 rands a month, I said that this was what I wanted. A job, at least I will be having a job to just wash dead bodies. I said I will do whatever that I wanted. This was the stability that I had been looking for in my life. I did not know that by speaking with the Nigerians, telling them that I had gotten a job, they were going to see it as an opportunity for them, that now they had a place where they could safely hide their drugs. I did not even see it that way. The Nigerians that I trusted, and they trusted me a lot because I had access now to places usually that no one will ever think about going to see if they are drugs. Those cold rooms, even the vehicles that will be carrying dead people, they don't get stopped most of the times. You can drive from Cape Town to Musina with a trailer with a coffin and you won't even get searched if you are lucky. and they spoke about it, and they told me that they wanted me to at least work as if I was their store manager. And I was doing this, I was making a lot of money. One afternoon, well, there was a routine inspection. My boss just came around the corner, and then he said that he just wanted to check the mortuary to see if we were doing a great job. Since I was used to be hiding all of these drugs, by then, since I had been doing that for almost a year without ever getting caught hiding the drugs, I had told myself that I was safe from my boss. I knew the places where no one would even see that they are drugs. On that day, since my Nigerian friend had given me a lot of these drugs and they were going to fetch it later on, I did not want to get the trouble of putting the drugs into the ceiling like I used to at work. So I just placed them in a spot where I knew that it was going to be easy just to take that plastic bags that was full of the drugs and put it in a backpack, and I go and I give to the Nigerians. Well, my boss had other plans. He came one afternoon during a routine inspection, and I did not know where else I was supposed to put those drugs. There was a woman's body already sealed inside a coffin. She was supposed to be transported to Venda near Thoyando for her burial, for she had been working in Joburg for a long time and she died in Joburg. All paperwork had been signed, the family was waiting outside, and the transport was supposed to leave within the hour. Whilst the senior supervisor was distracted with forms, that was when I spoke with the Nigerian and I told him that there was an inspection that was happening, but there was a coffin that was about to leave the premises. So the Nigerians told me that if I could slip into the preparation room. He did not ask as such. He told me that just put it inside that coffin. I said, how are we going to remove it? He said, we will make a plan. So already the drugs, they were inside some brown plastic wraps that we had tightly sealed. And then I put inside the coffin on the bottom corner of the coffin underneath the padding near the feet. And that is what I did. I thought about what I was doing. Now I had put these drugs in a coffin that was supposed to be headed for Venda, but then I thought about my bank balance, my child that needed more money. The coffin was supposed to leave in about 30 minutes. I then spoke with the supervisor. He ended up assigning me to assist with the transport because it was a long distance transfer. So it was me and another man, an old man, and this gave me confidence. I told myself that I'll be able to retrieve the package before reaching the family home. I knew that the old man that I was with, he had a girlfriend just before Pretoria, and he had been dying to go and see the girlfriend. He then said to me, young boy, I want to go and see my girlfriend. Will you be able to go to Venda and you come back? But the boss is not supposed to know. This is what we used to do. You'll be sent to go to Durban, the two of you, then one can go and be with the girlfriend. You know, that is what we used to do. So I dropped him off and his girlfriend came and picked him up. And then I started driving. And as I was driving, I then stopped just to get some coffee, but I stopped not because I wanted some coffee. I stopped because I just wanted to see if there was a way that I'll be able to quickly open the coffin and then I will take out the drugs and hide them somewhere else. So I was at the garage, but where I was parked, the camera was not even looking at me. I was somewhere that was a little bit far. But all of a sudden, the moment that I tried to go to the trailer where the coffin was, I saw the security guard. He appeared and he came and we started talking. I just told him that I was busy just checking everything, if everything was okay. We spoke and then I got into the vehicle. I said, God damn it, maybe I'll stop when I am in Bella Bella or past Bella Bella, because these Nigerians, they were calling me, you don't have to drive far, bro. We are supposed to come and collect those drugs. If you drive very far, it is going to be impossible for us to follow you. So they wanted me to give them before I had even left Gauteng, but I said that it was impossible. So I was waiting for the sun to go down. I stopped just after Bella Bella. When I saw that I was now almost in the middle of nowhere, the cars were passing, but it was getting a little bit dark. I pretended as if my car was overheating. As I approached the coffin, to my surprise, there was an elderly woman that came out of the bushes. It was that elderly woman and two kids. Both of them, they were carrying some firewood. Where they were headed to, I did not even know. Instead of them going to where they were supposed to go, those people, they just sat down, and I backed away and I got into the vehicle. I drove. I was at Total in Polokwane, where I just bought some pap. I tried again, like now it was late at night. The moment that I touched the coffin latch, there was something that just happened to my hand, and I saw a police van that just drove, but it was driving really slow, that police van. And I returned back to my car and I called the Nigerians, and I wanted to tell those Nigerians that I had tried, but I was failing to get those drugs out from the coffin. And those Nigerians, they were calling me. By now, my phone, it was vibrating non-stop, Nigerian numbers, missed calls. I said, these guys, they are going to kill me. Well, I drove because this body was needed. And when I was by a lay-by just before Makado, this was like my last chance. There was a quiet bush, and now I had the chance. I went back to the trailer. I opened the back, but the smell that came out of that coffin, it was as if this woman that was lying dead in that coffin, it was as if she had already started decaying. I vomited. When I tried to look back again into the coffin, that was when she slapped me really hard, and I was hit with confusion. And I don't know how I ended up being in Toyando, and I had delivered that coffin. I really do not know how it even happened. So when people that are not Muslims, when they have received their body, they would never look at the legs. They would only look at the face, and then they bury their deceased. I assisted with the setting up of the tent, and when that coffin was brought down into the grave, that was when I knew that it was over for me. But I said, it is just drugs. Those Nigerians, they will understand. I stood there as the coffin was being taken underground, as it was being buried, knowing that there was 400,000 worth of drugs that was being buried. That night, the Nigerians, they did not shout at me. I was at a lodge where I was supposed to sleep. Then I traveled the next day. When I told the Nigerian that the coffin had been buried with the drugs, the Nigerian guy started laughing, but I knew that this was not a laughter because it was funny, but he was laughing at my situation. He then just dropped my call. When I tried to call him again, he did not answer. So I told myself that I will deal with those Nigerians. If they try to fight with me, I'll go and report them to the police. And the other one, he had told me that he was using a fake ID, by the way. So I had confidence. I then returned back to Joburg. They called me to Midrand. When I went to Midrand, then he said, you owe us 400K. You are supposed to pay us. That was when I saw the other side of these people. And I was only earning around 9.6 plus the money that these guys were giving to me. I started crying because they said that they were going to cut off my pennies and they're going to feed the pennies to the dogs that were at that house where they were keeping me. They kept me for nearly 2 days. I could not go to work. So when they were about to kill me, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe they were just threatening me so that they can make me to be so scared. They even had the machete knives that they had placed in that room that they said that they were going to use to cut off each and every part of my body and to throw it away. So then they came the day that they released me, and they said that they did not want the money immediately. They were going to give me some instructions later on. After about 3 days, I received an SMS. There was a Nigerian guy who was waiting for me outside. I then got to the reception and I went outside. I saw that there was a Mercedes Benz. It was black with no number plates. I saw that there was a man who was a Sangoma that I recognized as a Xhosa man with the way that he was wearing the traditional clothes. And I was told to deliver mortuary water to that man. We then discussed on how I was supposed to give him and when I was supposed to give him the mortuary water. So this was the water that I was using to wash the corpse. The water mixed sometimes with blood, chemicals. That was what I was supposed to do. I refused it. When I told them that I could not do this, they told me that I did not even have an option unless if I had 400k in cash I was supposed to give him that very same moment. He even had a gun. I returned back. Then I filled a container secretly. The first day I was so scared. I filled only 5 liters and put it in my backpack. And then I delivered that mortuary water to that Sangoma. And when I gave him, he did not even speak with me. He just took it and he threw it into the boot of his car. And later on, I found out that this mortuary water, it is used by people who have small supermarkets, clothing stores, those that want to have a lot of customers. These Nigerians, they kept on increasing the pressure. For each and every time that they would request that I do something, they would tell me the balance that was remaining of the money that I was owing them. They would call me at night. I ended up losing weight. I started dreaming about things that were so scary. It was as if I was about to lose my mind, even though I was never arrested. But there were times when they would instruct me to open up the stomach of a person that we were keeping at our mortuary, then to remove even the intestines, the liver, the kidneys, depending with what they wanted. One funny request was that they told me to cut in between the buttocks of a woman where we do poop. That was the skin that they wanted. It was a man whom they said was going to come and take that skin, and I put it inside a small empty Coca-Cola 500 milliliter plastic bottle that I put in my backpack. And he came, he collected it. To my surprise, I saw that the clothes that he was wearing, he was a reverend of a certain church. And this is what I did until I paid off the 400k to those Nigerians. All the body parts that I sold, I did not even eat a single cent. After that was over, I refused to take care of their drugs anymore. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our listeners. The strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us talk about this in the comment section. If you have ever worked in a mortuary before, please feel free to bring your confessions to our inbox. I'll be back with another episode.